Now, if you watch my vlogs, you might see me as somebody who doesn't do much. That's because I don't do much. No, I do consider myself a lazy person. If I can decide between doing something productive and just sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be watching YouTube videos. And seeing that you are on YouTube right now, it could be that it's the same for you. I mean, you don't even need to be lazy, you just might want to increase your productivity. Since I'm currently unemployed, self-employed, and I can freely decide what I do with my time, I'm just not productive. Like, not at all productive. Like, I'm just wasting away my time, right? And that has become a problem because wasting my time also doesn't make me happy. Actually, getting stuff done makes me more happy even though I don't like doing the stuff. If that makes any sense. So I had to somehow convince myself to get stuff done. And in the past month, I have developed a technique that works for me, that actually gets me doing stuff, being productive, getting the things done that I want to get done. And that's amazing. And today I want to share with you the story of how I got there. So this is gonna be quite a long video, I suppose, because I want to share how it started and what the advantages are and what you might need to do a similar thing, and that will just take a while. But I recently figured out how to do YouTube chapters. So in the time bar below you can see the individual chapters and you can just skip a chapter if you're not interested in that. There's also a too long didn't watch video if you just want the condensed version. But I, as a vlogger, just want to make the overall story into a video. That's what I want to do here. I want to tell stories. And it's certainly not the only technique to increase your productivity. There are thousands of different approaches, but this particular one that I came up with, or that I arranged, this particular one works for me. And potentially it could work for you. That's why I'm sharing it with the world. Okay, let's go. Today I want to share with you the story of how I got myself to finally do something and finally be productive and thus be a lot more happy in my life. It all started out with having to do my taxes, which is something I've been putting off forever. I just had a genius idea. You know, I've been not doing my taxes for 2019. And I've been putting it off forever, and I think I should have already done it by now, but I still didn't do it. I don't know what the consequences are if I don't do it. Anyhow, I don't really want to find out. Point is, I need to do my taxes. But I've always just postponed it, and I never felt ready to do it because it's just such an annoying thing to do. But I also found out that I'm really into trading lately, and I just wanted to buy Ethereum because that sounds promising. So I want to buy one Ethereum, but I will only allow myself to do that once I'm done with doing my taxes. And since Ethereum is increasing, it gets more and more expensive. So the earlier I buy, the better for me. So I gotta do my taxes. Yeah, one horrible experience later, I did my taxes. Finally, you've seen in the previous vlog how horrible that experience was, but we don't need to iterate that. But the point is, I did my taxes. I got that to do done, finally. And I paid myself for it. That's how this originated, this idea. And since that worked so well, I thought, well, why not do this with all of my things on that to-do list? It's 3 in the morning and I can't sleep. I have so many thoughts, right? I have many thoughts, and that keeps me from sleeping. So here's the thing, right? I have basically everything I need and also everything I want, more or less. Like, there's nothing that I really want to have that I couldn't just buy with the money I have, right? Like, if I want a new microphone, I can buy it. If I want a new camera, I can buy it. I try not to buy too much stuff that I don't really need. I sometimes still do, but that's the thing. I never have this feeling anymore that I had as a kid, where I waited for Christmas Eve because I knew I would get something that I've been waiting for so long. I can remember one specific instance. I was in the living room on the couch and I was asking my mom to reassure me that I would get that for Christmas. And then she was like, yeah, you will get that for Christmas. I was like, yeah, I can't wait. And that feeling, I don't really have that anymore because anything that I want, I just buy. Now, how can you motivate a person like that to actually do some work, to actually be productive? I found a way. I think I found a way. I didn't try it yet, and I have new ideas every 2 days. So anyhow, trading didn't work. Forget that trading. I lose more in trading. So I don't want to trade, but I want to invest. Now here's the thing. I don't want to invest like all my money because it can just go wrong. But my goal is I want to get up to 1 Bitcoin in the next year, ideally. And since Bitcoin is, on an upward trend, it's getting more and more expensive, and thus I want to invest early. But that's a good thing because that means that I have leverage against myself. Listen to the following idea. So I could, of course, just put all the money that I have into Bitcoin. But then that's done like that, and then it's gambling. It's just gambling. I can be lucky and it goes up, and I can be unlucky and it goes down. But what if, instead of allowing myself to put all my money into Bitcoin, how about I make myself work for it, right? That's the whole idea. Okay, so for instance, my model that I thought about while not being able to sleep right now is every day that I reached my daily goal of productivity, and I define that in the morning, for instance, or in the day before, and every day I reach that goal, I allow myself to put 100 euros on the exchange. So I basically pay myself. I mean, it's already my money, which is the funny thing, but since the money that I have on my bank account isn't really worth much to me because I just have that, it's just there. But in Bitcoin, it's a lot more interesting, right? Also more dangerous, but a lot more interesting because it has the potential to get me more money. And I'm not at that point yet where I don't need any more money yet. I mean, of course, it's all about my mental strength of not allowing myself to put in more money into the exchange than with this baseline, because I mean, I still need to trust myself that I don't just say, I reached a daily goal even though I didn't. So this is, the integrity is very important. The whole system dies with its integrity. And so we will see how long I can keep that up. Maybe I lose interest in it in a day or two, such as with the trading. I decided not to be a trader. No. I like to create a lot more, and so paying myself to make YouTube videos, for instance, seems like a much better strategy. And then just hope that Bitcoin is going up. So in this way I can actually pay myself. This is great. I love this. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna try next. I developed this idea with the 3 micro goals per day. This is how I trick myself to be productive now. I tell myself I can put 100 euros into Bitcoin every day if I reach the daily goals. And this is how I make myself work. Because I'm usually just sitting here watching videos, streaming Twitch and being like, yeah, life is good. I don't have any income, but I also don't really have any expenses. So yeah, whatever. No, this is not good. We need to do something. We need to somehow make money. Success can only be reached if you work for it. If you get that whatever you want to have without working for it, then that's no success. Some people might want to have my sort of life, my standard of living, and that will be a success for them. But for me, I already have that. I was given that. Or my financial standing. Some people would set that as a goal, to be debt free. But I already have that. So it's not a success. A success would be if I set the goal, work for it and reach it. Not if I set the goal, sit back and with some luck it comes to me. Right? Success is if I work for it. So I need to make myself work, otherwise I won't be successful. And from success I can get happiness, and essentially I'm living for a happy life. So success is part of that. If I'll just sit around and do nothing, then I don't think I'll ever get really happy. So gotta work, gotta do some work. And we'll talk about goal setting and stuff some more. But basically the idea is I'll do micro goals. Basically, I want to set myself 3 little goals that I can achieve in one day, and then I'm gonna do them. And if I'm done, I can stop working, that's fine. But I'm gonna set myself those 3 goals. And I did that in the past. Those goals usually, I mean, here are some. This can be something like set up a password manager, edit that one video, apply for that job, get the Amazon affiliate thing running, you know, stuff. Just stuff. And if I reached all of those goals in that day, then I can spend 100 euros and invest them into Bitcoin. So basically, I'm paying myself to do work. Because, you know, self-employment, in the beginning, you don't get anything. Like, if you're setting up a business, in the beginning, you're not getting paid, you don't have any money coming in, you don't have any positive cash flow. So basically, I'm gonna invest, like, I don't know, 10K or something into my business. So I say, okay, this is allocated into growing that business, and I'm gonna pay myself. This is the interesting thing. I'm gonna pay myself 100 euros a day, which is not even that much. So there's like, you know, 100 euros a day is not a lot. I have a deal with myself, you know, I work for cheap, and therefore I get shares in the business. Anyhow, so if I reach the goals, I can invest that 100 euros into Bitcoin. Because it's my goal, like, it's my... I really want to invest into Bitcoin. It's just, it's this urge. I don't know if it's unhealthy, but I feel like I want to do that. And that is what drives me. So I have motivation. I know why I'm doing this. I know why I put the work in. So basically, you just get an addiction, and then you limit yourself to not being able to do that addiction unless you work for it, right? That's genius. Just get a gambling addiction, and then only allow yourself to gamble with the budget that you earn through doing stuff. Genius! I know. Maybe not. But anyway, that's my strategy, right? And I know that usually whenever I have ideas like that, and whenever I'm excited about stuff like that, then I do it for a day or 2 or 3, and then I lose motivation again, and then don't do it anymore. So I don't know what systems I can put into place to avoid that. I'm just gonna try it and hope that it's gonna go well. I hope that this me wanting to invest into Bitcoin keeps me motivated enough. It just shouldn't be too much effort to keep track of that. So I'm now gonna build myself a spreadsheet and try and automate as much of it, such that I just need to write in what I want to do, just write in those 6 things, and everything else is calculated automatically. Also when I put money onto Kraken, and yeah. So that's the idea. I hope this plan works. And from those 3 goals, I then developed it into a weighted list where I can basically do as much as I want and I get paid appropriately. I'm currently designing the spreadsheet, and there's some like essential decisions that I need to make, right? So do I want this to be a binary thing? I get the 100 euros or I don't get the 100 euros? Or do I do like the percentage of the goals that I reach, I get the percentage of the 100 euros? Then I can do a weighted percentage of, you know, how tough is a goal and so on. So there are two ways to go about this. Either I divide my 100 euros down, which has the advantage that I might keep the motivation to keep working knowing that I won't reach the goal. Or I say it's a binary thing, I need to reach that goal, which might motivate me to actually finish it that way, but might also risk that I will then just give up. Okay, I won't reach the goal today anyway, so forget it. I think I'm gonna go with a percentage thing. I thought that gets me more motivated, because it's highly unmotivating if you reach 2 out of your 3 goals and then you're not getting paid. That's just, then I tend to, you know, not want to start anyway, because if I just reach 2 then. But if I get paid for everything, then it always makes sense to at least do something today. And long term, I think that's the better approach.
I'm using story points, by the way. Yeah, that's gonna work. Every goal has a number of points, and it's gonna be the Fibonacci points. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21.
And then from the list of goals, I turned it to a whole Kanban board with story points and priorities.
And the more time I spend looking at the charts, the more I want to buy Bitcoin. And so I basically made a deal with myself. It's not a perfect deal. It's not well thought out yet. It's not perfect. But I'm going in the right direction, I think. And I continuously improve it. For instance, I now make it a Kanban board, and basically I pay myself for the story points that I did. So the more story points I did, the more I can invest in Bitcoin with no limit to the upside.
And that, I tell you, is so much better than a to-do list. You know why? Let's see. A to-do list here on my phone, it's just a thing I need to do and a ticky thing that I can tick if I'm done. But there's no incentive for me to get this stuff done. I mean, if I click the done, then it just disappears from the list. But there's no reward for me. I don't even see when I did it. You know, I'm a data person. You know, I even use Dailyo on my phone to track all the activities that I do in a day and to track my mood. And like, I'm a data person. I love data.
I'm actually getting more and more happy with my Kanban board. It actually motivates me to do stuff. Because I'm like, I commit to those 5 things today and I'm just gonna do them. You know? Because progress, and not just progress, but what's the word for that? Like storable, backupable, loggable. It's written down that I made this progress. It's nice and green, you know. It's nice and green if it's undone, and yeah, I just like it because this is a file I can export and store on my hard drives and make backups from. So this is something I have control over and not just Google knows about. I mean, Google knows about it because it's on Google Sheets, but not just Google, right? I can export it. And that kind of gives me the feeling that I'm contributing to something, right? I'm creating something. I'm creating my Kanban board with a lot of done stories. So with that, I actually want to get the stuff done because it's nice to make progress. And it's also nice to see the payment, like, because for every story point that I do, I pay myself 10 euros. So today I already made 70 euros. And that's a good feeling. Even though I still have to pay myself those 70 euros, but I would argue that that thing pays for itself. You know why? Because I put the to-dos on there that will eventually get me money, and thus I will get paid, and thus I can use that money to pay myself. It's all just a psychological repurposing of money that is actually super helpful for me, right? I mean, it's a bit stupid because it's already my money. I should be able to spend it already, but with that system, I allow myself to spend it. And that's the key difference. That's the psychological reason why this Kanban board works for me, at least right now. And that's why I keep using it, hopefully for a long time. Because my to-do lists on Keep, they were just not working.
So with a to-do list, I always just add stuff, but I will never get the stuff done. And then my to-do list will become so long that I don't even want to look at it. And then I create another to-do list and call it priority to-do list. And then the same thing happens with the priority to-do list. And then I create another to-do list and rename the other one old priority to-do list. This is literally what happened. My old priority to-do list, and then my new priority to-do list, in caps priority to-do list. Man, it's ridiculous. I mean, to-do lists just don't work for me at all.
Also, all my post-its. I had a Kanban board. You might remember in some of my videos, I think I mentioned it. I just threw away such a pack of post-its that were on my windows everywhere and on the back wall there. I just never looked at it and I just added to-dos and I never did them because, you know, if it's done, I have to throw away the post-it note and it's like, now I don't know what I did. I was missing the aspect of it's locked. It's locked and it's saved. And so I just threw away a pack of post-its with all my to-dos and I put them in the Kanban board. And yeah, I'm happy with this. It is so nice to just be able to go back and look, when did I achieve that? For instance, if I want to find a specific clip that I know I recorded, I can now just go back and look here and I can see, okay, that's the date when I did that, and that was the same day where I recorded this clip that I'm gonna play you now. I don't have a shirt, wait, hold on a second. Yeah, that will do. That will do. Okay, so let's pretend we have a shirt on. I kind of like that. I should always wear stuff like that because then I'm also like stomach free. We're like, yeah, bitches. Anyhow, as you can tell, I'm in a good mood. I just spent 1 hour just setting up my Kanban board instead of my to-do list, and it already pays off because now that I have this board, I'm like, I want to keep it clean because my to-do list, I'm like, yeah, new to do, new to do, new to do. It's easy to add another to do, that's fine. It just pushes the others down. But here, for some reason, I was like, you know what? Instead of writing it down, we can just quickly do it now, right? Or we write it down and then we want to mark it done. So I just did 2 of my to-dos that have been sitting on my to-do list for ages. One of them was there since summer of 2018. It was like, ask that guy, Instagram name, for photos. And I just texted that guy on Instagram. And then there was another one, receive my Mint shirts. Because I bought Mint gear, like the Ultimate Club in Munich. I bought their gear, but I'm not in Munich anymore. So I told them they should send it to me. But I never received it. So that was on my to-do list that I need to check that. So at least it was on my to-do list, because otherwise it would just disappear. But now that I went through my to-do list, I was like, where did that go? And I texted the guy and he was like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to send it. We'll send it ASAP. And I was like, okay, sweet. I really like that. Wow, it kind of lets my feminine side out a little bit. I should trim my beard as well, but I kind of like this. I can see how girls be like, oh, this is, I call me gay, but I like that, okay? I mean, I really enjoy wearing my frisbee shorts on my chest. Yeah, okay, so we have 20 stories in my Kanban storyboard. That's a good start. Now I also want a bonus sheet for the stuff that I can do daily, such as meditate, do yoga, do workouts, stream on Twitch, make music. And for those, I will give myself 1 point. So not a lot, but still something that I can, you know, do some extra effort. I think this is gonna be good. Or maybe it's just the initial enthusiasm that I always have about new projects. I love to do new projects, but then I usually give up on them quite quickly. We'll see how long that stays with me. I hope that it stays with me for a while. Till I'm rich, baby! Isn't that nice? It's so nice to have data available. The more data you have... Yeah, I'm just a fan of data, okay? I'm just a data nerd. And having this Google Sheets spreadsheet where it says for every task when I started, when I'm done, I can export that, I can make backups from that, I can go back and see exactly when I did that. That's cool. That's something that I like to have. And so there is an incentive for me to do stuff. The other incentive, of course, is that if I do this stuff, then I also get paid by myself. Still, I get paid. But if I pay myself to do stuff, then I actually do stuff. So it all comes down to me wanting to spend money on certain things, right? Like I want to buy a new microphone, for instance, but I won't allow myself to buy one unless I earn the money from myself. So basically what it is, I unlock my funds. The money that I have is locked until I did some tasks to unlock the money such that I'm allowed to spend it. And you know what? I'm gonna show you the spreadsheet. Look here.
Alright, so this is the magic spreadsheet that I was talking about. So let's have a look at how I set that up. Now, first column is my story. So this is basically the to-do that I want to achieve. I have actually frozen this first column such that if I scroll here, the to-do will always be visible. Second column is the commitment date. This is basically the date when I say, okay, I'm now gonna work on this. And then obviously the done date is when I'm finished with the story. Created date is obviously when I edit the story. Then I have different types of stories. More important, the story points. This is how tough a story is to achieve. I use the first 7 Fibonacci numbers for that. And then I also assign a priority from 0 to 10. Then I have a column for the definition of done. With some stories, it's quite obvious what counts as done, like I filmed the video here. But for other stories, such as clean my room, it's not so clear when I'm actually done with that. So here I say, okay, the floor needs to be clean and I need to have it vacuumed. Then this story counts as done, because otherwise I might just clean up a little bit and then say, hey, I cleaned up my room. Then also the why is important for a story. If I don't have a why, then I won't be doing it, right? So in this case, living in the dust is not healthy. So there we have one of my core values, health, and that's supposed to motivate me to actually get this done. For some stories, I have deadlines, which creates an urgency, like here. And this here is actually the most important column. This shows the status of the stories. So let's go through the process. If I would be adding another story, like edit the Kanban board video, then I would go here and say I created it today. It's in the category YouTube. It has the difficulty 8. Priority, I would say, I don't know, somewhere around the 6. And you can see that the status automatically switches to open. Definition of done is obvious for me, so I won't put it here. Why is obvious for me, so I won't put it here. There's no real deadline, so no urgency, so I won't put that. Now the story ID is used to group things together. I could say I put this story ID here because it belongs to the same one as the film Kanban board video, because that's one of the things that I haven't yet figured out, how to group stories together to make it a real Kanban board. If you have any ideas, let me know. But for now, I'm just doing that with story IDs and have them separated. And now my new story is added. If I would now say I'm gonna do this today, I would commit to it. Status goes to committed. And then once I'm done, I can do this. This feels so nice. And then, bam, it's done. I really like to do this. By the way, the shortcut for adding the current date is Control and semicolon. Now you might ask, why is there a number before the status? Well, easy, such that I can sort by status, and then my committed stuff will be at the very top of the list. So usually how I do this, I sort by priority, and then I sort by status, and then I select, ideally I would select the next high in the priority or the most urgent ones. But in reality, I go through most of the list and pick what I want to do today. And then I commit to that, and then I sort again, and the committed are on top. And then once they're done, I would sort again, and then they disappear. So all the done and blocked and failed stories, I don't want to see here anymore. I want to be working at the top of my spreadsheet, and I don't want to see the old stuff. So where do they go? Well, they go to the very bottom here. Here we have the blocked, then we have the done, and some failed as well. But it's not done. I use the block if I need to get back to something. If I need to quit the subscription or follow up on something, then I set it to blocked because I don't want to see it here. Blocked, by the way, stays down here until the block date is reached, at which point it will go back to the previous status, so committed or open. Because if I can't do something, either because it's weekend or they closed for a week or whatever, then I don't want to have it in my active list here that I need to look at it each day, even though I know I can't do this now. So I introduced this blocked feature. So that's the basic list. But now to the more interesting stuff and the reason why it actually motivates me to do something. And that is the evaluation sheet here, which basically for every day calculates how many story points I achieved and then calculates my reward. In my case, I use 10 euros per story point. It shouldn't be too much because then I run out of money too quickly. But if it's too little, then I won't be motivated to do anything. So if there was just 1 euro, then I would be like, well, I mean, for this little bit of money, I don't really want to work. If it was too much, then it would be like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I can't afford that. So you need to find a good middle ground. A story point is usually like half an hour approximately. So I pay myself 20 euros per hour, which is a good amount, I would say. On average, I earn like 80 euros a day. Or I pay myself 80 euros a day. And then I'll also track where I put the money. So for instance, I put them on an exchange to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, or I spend it on Amazon. And also if I go out to eat or take a train to Vienna, that I track here on my daily expenses. And then I just have the running amount of how much money I have open to spend. And that's basically the whole idea. I just pay myself to do stuff. There's one more thing that I haven't discussed yet, this bonus points. Basically, it's another sheet for reoccurring things, like things I could do every day, like meditate, do yoga, do a workout, because I don't want to put them in the Kanban board and say, hey, I should do a workout today. No, this is handled with this bonus sheet. I mean, I haven't meditated a lot, but I have meditated once more than the previous 3 months. So, and did I do this one time of yoga only such that this list is not so empty? Possibly. But I did it, so I would argue it works. And here you can also add new things, like I recently added this thing where I say I shouldn't be on social media for the first 4 hours of being awake, because that also helps my productivity a lot. And so I just introduced it.
Like this limitation, not being able to start my day going to my computer, sitting in front of YouTube, which then demotivates me to do anything, so I can't do anything all day. If in the first 4 hours I'm not allowed to do that, then I have to start with something else. For instance, 2 days ago, I decided, okay, if I can't watch YouTube now, then I just go to the doctor and get that fixed quickly. So I went to the dentist and got my tooth fixed. Just like that. Something I wouldn't have done otherwise.
And for each of the bonus points earned, it's like another story point is added. And then you can add rules such as you need to have at least as many stories done as you achieved bonus points, such that bonus points by itself don't earn you anything. So I can't just make all my money doing those things. It should also motivate me to get some stories done. But that's totally up to you how you want to calculate that. But yeah, this is my basic setup of my micro goals spreadsheet. Now, if it motivates you to create like a nice visualization of how many goals you added, how many goals you did, then you can do that. If that is something that motivates you, go ahead. For me, that's not so important. I just enjoy having the data here and having everything in a nice, neat little list. Now, if you want to get started yourself, I've made you a template that you can use if you want.
There's a link in the description if you want to try out this template. Of course, you'll have to make it your own, because this is now just individualized for myself. You can just use this as inspiration to build your own thing. If you do that, let me know what changes you made to make it work better for you. That would be really interesting for me as well. And if you find out a way to group tasks or stories together, also let me know, because I haven't found a good way for that yet. And I keep improving upon that spreadsheet. I keep making it better, tweaking some things on how I do stuff, minor details. But the overall idea is, if I get stuff done, I pay myself and then I can spend it on crypto. Because essentially that's what I want to do at the moment. I want to invest in crypto and therefore I need money. And so I don't FOMO in my entire money into Bitcoin like today. I need to first work for it. And that's working great for me. Because then I actually get to do stuff. I actually do stuff. But that might raise the question, where do I get that money from to pay myself? And that is a very valid question, right? Because without the money behind it, this system doesn't work at all. If you don't have money, to spend on yourself, you can't do that. Where does the money come from? I'll show you. This is where the money came from. This is a present that I got from my granddad for my graduation. And on there were 10,000 euros. They are not anymore because I got them off.
Let's make the numbers in this book that correspond to numbers in the bank, to numbers in my mobile banking that correspond to other numbers in another bank, to numbers in an exchange, and then to numbers in a system on an address where I hold the private key. Why am I wearing the backpack in my front, you ask? Well, I wanted to save 8 euros and not make it with the bank numbers to bank numbers, but bank numbers to money to bank numbers. So I'm now walking, not cycling, walking to my bank to put it there. That's 50 200 euro notes. Say it once again. No. Alright, now I can wear my backpack like this again. If I now get robbed, I just use 500 euros max. That's fine. You don't want to run around with 10k in the backpack. You just don't.
Because let's be honest, on there it doesn't help me much, and getting 0.1% interest on that is just useless AF. So there's no point in keeping it on there. So I moved it to my bank account where I have easy access with my online banking, so I can easily move it to a crypto exchange where I can buy cryptocurrencies. Because that's ultimately what I want to do with that money. But yeah, before I'm allowed to do that, I need to work for it. So basically, I have a budget of 10,000 euros to pay myself to get stuff done. You know, I see this as an investment in my business and in my personality and in basically whatever I want to do. So this basically buys me time not having to work to get the money elsewhere to build something. And if the only thing I build is a crypto portfolio, then well, at least I have a crypto portfolio afterwards. It's also not like I waste the money as soon as I pay myself, that I just throw it out the window. Yeah, I can't say that because I'm gonna be demonetized. Yeah, women and drugs. Anyhow, no, this is not what I'm intending to do with that. Cryptocurrencies, that's what I'm intending to do with that. Hopefully, if I'm doing it right, it's an investment and I will still get a return on that investment, and it's not just lost money. So it's not like I'm wasting the money. Some of the money will be gone afterwards, yes. For instance, whenever I buy something on Amazon, and for my coaching sessions, the money also needs to go through this first. So basically, whenever I spend money, I need to first earn it. Because I don't just want to waste the money that I got from my grandpa, you know? Because he saved my entire life on this. Basically, since my birth, he started this thing and built it up. And it was supposed to be for my marriage. But let's be honest, it's not looking like I'm gonna marry soon. So I'll repurpose that for my business. And since my business is myself, you know, I invested in myself. I can just do that. Sorry, Grandpa. That's just what your money becomes. Crypto. And productivity, man. Finally doing something for my money. I mean, yeah. Because then it actually feels a lot better. I did something for that money, you know? It's not like it was just pushed up my, you know? Then I actually did something. What I do is up to me, of course, with the Kanban board. But I try to select that in a way that it makes my life better. Because, you know, I could also put some stupid tasks on my Kanban board. Just because I get stuff done doesn't mean that it's effective. Efficiency is not effectiveness. But that's a whole different story. But that's where I got the money from. How long is that gonna last me? I said with 80 euros per day approximately. Let's say, because it's easier to calculate, with 100 euros a day. So if I have 10,000 euros and I pay myself 100 euros per day, I have 100 days. Wow, that's a calculation I could not have done in my head. And divided by 30. So that's 3 months essentially that this money is gonna last me. So for 3 months, I now have the funds to pay myself every day to do stuff. What's gonna happen at the end of the year if I run out of money? Excellent question. You know, ideally, the tasks that I put on this Kanban board are set up in a way that eventually the stuff that I do with that earns me money. and the money that I get in from that, I can then use again to pay myself to invest in Bitcoin. And the circle just continues. Also, the money I earn from private lessons also needs to go through that. So it all needs to go through this before I can spend it. Except anything health related, because those could be like expenses that are like, you know, a lot bigger that I don't need to work for first. And also groceries. I don't want to have to work for my groceries again, because if I would do that, then I would save more on groceries. And I purposely don't want to do that because I don't want to buy the cheapest stuff. I want to be able to buy the good products, the sustainable products, you know, the green products, you know, the good stuff. And if you do this yourself, you can decide for yourself. You can just target it towards one thing. So just for buying new shoes, you have to do this, or whatever it is that you tap in the consumer trap for, you know. Because there are lots of consumer traps. Bitcoin, is that a consumer trap? I don't know. For me, it is cryptocurrencies. I want to limit the amount of money I can just shove into that, but still be able to shove some money into that. That also has the nice effect of me cost averaging buying my cryptos, because I don't do it all at once. And yeah, so for now, I just see positives in this endeavor, right? I get stuff done, thus I'm happy, because at the end of the day, I think, great, I did so many things today. And then I can spend my money, and then I don't feel bad about spending that money while still not spending too much money. I mean, let's be honest, 100 euros per day, that's not even that much. Like, that's pretty cheap. Granted, I don't work 9 till 5, I usually work like 4 hours per day. But still, as I mentioned in the beginning, I am still lazy. And I do still watch a lot of YouTube videos without being productive. It doesn't get rid of my laziness and inexisting work ethics and just unmotivated spirit, but it is definitely a huge improvement over being lazy the entire day. If I get at least a few things done each and every day, then that's already so much better. And it's been working great for me. I mean, I only have this system in place for less than a month. Like a month ago I started developing it. But it has already helped me out a lot of times. Here's one example. Actually, I want to document this, how great this is working for me. So I get an appointment at the skin doctor as one of my stories, right? Because I detected 3 new moles and I want them to be checked out, right? So it's on my list, and it was blocked because they were closed until Monday. So I waited until it's not blocked anymore, and then I committed to it. Right. I committed to it yesterday. And I called, no answer. Called again, no answer. Please call again later. And I did that for like at least 5 times yesterday, and it just didn't work. Same thing today. I had to wait until they're open at 3 p.m. Called, nothing. Called again, nothing. Called again, nothing. So I was getting really frustrated. Usually I would be like, yeah, doesn't work today, I'll just postpone it until I think about it again sometime. And then I would never get an appointment. And today I was like, no, this is a story in my freaking Kanban board, and it blocks me from doing other stories. So I need to get this done. And I was like, I just go there. And now I just went there. And I went in, and I just waited there in the door until the person at the desk was back, and then I was able to make an appointment. That's how you do it. You need to get stuff done. That's how you get an unfair advantage over all the others who just try and call, and they'll just get an appointment after me. I mean, my appointment is in end November, but it's fine. At least I have an appointment, so I can tick off the story. So, yeah. Okay, let's hop on the bike, go back home. Yeah, I mean, this is really working well for me. Really working well for me. So I actually get stuff done that I would not do otherwise if I wouldn't have that Kanban board. It also changes the way that I think about stuff. I'm now more goal-oriented. Another big advantage of having this Kanban board, I just realized today, is that I focus on goals, not on plans. Let me explain what happened. So, one of my stories is that I need
to bring my data to Graz. Reason for that is that obviously you need to make backups, and I want to have my backups stored in 2 different locations as well, because if one flat burns down, I still have the other one. Or if somebody breaks into one flat, I still have the other one. Or if my table collapses and both hard drives crash on the floor, still have one at the other location. So I needed to get my data to Graz. Now, I spontaneously decided to go to Graz today, so I was not at all prepared to take data with me, right? Because usually what I would do is I would order a new hard drive, I would copy all the data, I would get the hard drive to Graz. But I spontaneously decided today, you know what, let's skip those first 2 parts and just take the data to Graz. I just took the backup hard drive and I have it in my backpack now. I just packed it and bring it to Graz. And the order a new hard drive to make backups in Klagenfurt again will be another to-do on my list, so it will be another story, right? And that gets me more story points, because the story just said I need to get the data to Graz, so it motivated me to just get the data to Graz. So I was goal oriented, not plan oriented, and that helps me get stuff done.
Aha! And the best thing, on one of my hard drives here, there's still some free space that I can put all of it on. So that's even the best solution possible. Let's do it. There we go.
If I achieved what stands in the definition of done, then I can tick it off. Goal orientation. Changes your way of thinking about stuff, and that actually also makes me more productive. So the system really works for me. It's really cool. Now, I have made an entire script for this video, and so far I have read 0 lines from that script, and if you ask me, I'm pretty much done with the video. See, that's why I don't usually script my videos. I need to go through it because I know that I missed some stuff. Another advantage it has is that it keeps me from unnecessarily spending money. That's just another positive outcome of this. That doesn't really have anything to do with the tasks themselves, the productivity themselves, but just me limiting myself to only be allowed to spend the money that I re-earned helps me save money, because I'm not just and another order on Amazon, because now I have to work for that, and that makes me a lot more conscious what I spend my money on. I mean, that's the reason why I still didn't buy that microphone, and ultimately that's why I will never upgrade my cameras, because I'm okay with that. It's not the best camera. I would love to have a better one, but I don't want to have to work so many hours that I get the 1,000 euros for a new camera. I'm gonna stay with this 100 euro camera. Even though I could afford it, because I got 10K, but I don't want to afford it, because I need to work. It's amazing. I love this. We'll see how long I stick with that, because as I said, it lives and dies with its integrity. Because as soon as I don't adhere to it anymore, as soon as I spend the money anyway without working for it first, the system is broken. So yeah, 1 month review, would recommend. If you want to try it yourself, as I said, there's a template in the description, you can check that out or figure out your own system. For me, it works well with the money, but it can also be some other rewards that you get. Basically, it's just a reward yourself for the tasks you do kind of system. You can do that with you're now allowed to spend that time watching the TV or something. It just needs to be something that you really want to do. And for me, it is spending money on Bitcoin. What is it that you really want to do? Like, that you really, really want to do? And if it's also something that you then shouldn't do too much of, I don't know, if you really like working, then that's pointless, because I mean, you just like working anyway, so go ahead. But if it's something that you shouldn't do too much, like spending money on crypto, then you just need to tell yourself, okay, you're only allowed to do that certain amount of that is justified by how productive you were before. Whatever you want to do, just take it away from yourself and say you only get it back if you work. Treat yourself like a little kid. That's what I have to do with myself, because otherwise I don't get stuff done. For me, this is working. Might be working for you as well. If you try it out, let me know how it works for you. Would be interesting. I will let you know how it keeps working for me. or not working, we will see. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this entire video. It's certainly been a pleasure to make it because I mean, I just really like how this is working out. I really enjoy that this is working for me. And I like to share my stories with you and just make videos on YouTube. But now I'm done with the filming part. Let's go edit.
It's so nice to do that.
If you want to support me in any way, you know, like add the funds that I pay myself then, there are countless possibilities to do that. I have a Patreon, I have a PayPal. You can also have my Bitcoin or Ethereum addresses if you want to send me some crypto. But really, what I really want you to do is just keep watching those videos and keep supporting me in that way, because that's ultimately worth more to me if I have people actually interested in the stuff I produce. And please tell me if there's something you see is not ideal for you as the viewer. If there's something that I could improve on, let me know in the comments or on my Discord server, because I want to push people to that Discord server. Anything else that I want to plug? My behind to not receive more money? Yeah, although if I put my own money in there, I guess it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I keep it open. What? I'm really interested in how it turns out, like how long I can keep that up. I mean, I think I'm gonna keep it up for the 3 months, but then as soon as I run out of money, it's doomed to fail. But hopefully I won't run out of money. Hopefully I'll find some other liquidity pool to tap into. Let's say if Bitcoin goes up to 20k and I can liquidate some of that. I don't know, I'm happy with that. And I'm happy with you being here. And I'm actually happy with my life at the moment. And this is working for me. I like this. So you, come make a backup and figure out what is working for you. What gets you to get stuff done. And with that, I will leave you till next time. Don't just keep watching YouTube videos. Just go do some stuff as well. Go do some stuff. You two who are editing this video, go, if you're done, just do, yeah, good boy. Be more productive. Yeah. You get your money for editing this. Don't worry. It was a lot of work. I know. It was. We should increase the story points for this particular video. Yeah, you're right. Let's make it 13. Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. We got the money. But keep being productive. You're doing great. Until next time.